As you know, I'm a big believer in keeping morale high because we need it to fight what's going on in the country. And as you probably realise, our best weapon is the man sitting in number 10. Oh my God, he's waking so many people up. They can't stand him. I'll read you what I wrote late last night, actually, when I was going to bed. I was thinking about a few things. Anyway, I looked this morning and it's had 76,000 views on Facebook. Facebook's normally a lot slower than Twitter. See if you can recognise this. We live in a state that expects us to tolerate intolerance, to allow people, good or bad, to draw down on our contributions to everything we have built up over many generations. It's not an accident, it's a plan. It's a strategy, and it's been in play for decades. We didn't notice before, not before the internet and social media. You see, we were busy. Cheap flights, frequent foreign travel, spending on ourselves, lots of TV channels to choose from, film star beauty treatments, and lots to keep us occupied. It all started with Tony Blair, who was a remarkable leader, and I don't say that as a compliment. We have to understand that the greatest struggle will be undoing everything that Blair set up, and it was set up not to be undone. He created a bespoke civil service designed to serve his ideology. The deep state is very real, very effective, and very dangerous. It's the Japanese knotweed of politics, and we need a weed killer. Current parties have been a fertiliser for this intrusive weed. We need to un-Blair the civil service. Policies need to be ready to go and drafted outside the civil service. You can't delegate the renewal to them because they can't be trusted. The Tories used them and they got nobbled many times. Labour love using them. It was Blair, a Labour politician, who set it all up. Doge has uncovered a lot of unsuitable legislation and spending at council level. The system can be utilised at a higher level. As Gawain Towler has said, reform has gone from a corner shop to Morrison's in a short space of time, and they've done amazing work. This is no way a one-man party. This is a network of volunteers, councillors, MPs, branch managers, canvassers, and tech wizard volunteers and wealthy backers. These are people who are sick of the way things are and are doing all they can to enforce change. They've transformed the face of local politics in a way I never anticipated. And where elections were allowed to be held, they've romped home to victory. This is not an easy journey, but it's one that must be made. It's something I feel I must support because I want that change too. I don't expect miracles, and I'll be grateful for whatever we get. But I won't sit back and watch the life I've built for myself torn apart by socialist legislation devised and delivered by both the main legacy parties. So, again, obviously, it's bound to be my opinion on this channel. That's how I see it. And I do think that you will wonder, because if you've only got a small account with just your mates on and that, you won't see what I see when I go in messages. But I got a message from a Labour guy last night. Hang on. So I read it, and it correlated with quite a few other messages I've got from people who are what I call proper Labour. And I asked him if I could share it on my page, which I did, and that's had about 20,000 views. And I think he sums his position up pretty well. And this is what I mean when people say about reform edging towards Labour. It's not edging towards the batshit crazies that support Keir Starmer, or the ones that support Corbyn and his new, Gaza Grandad party. What he's doing is he's thinking of all the decent Labour voters that wanted to work in manufacturing and were proud to be down the pit, and the ones that knew the kids maybe not would be university standard, but at least have a bloody job when you left school. He's not afraid to support apprenticeships, which was his attraction to Pimlico Plumbers, whatever he's called, can't remember his name now, because he believes in apprenticeships. This is nuanced. And what's happening, journalists are trying to make you think that reform is going left wing. No, it's not. There's just been no party that makes common sense, that can appeal to someone like my dad, who was a Tory voter but had a small business with no money, but it was basically a Conservative. Or someone like my Uncle Jack, who was staunch Labour, worked for a big company all his life, and that's how he was. Where do those voters go? Because there's no room for them anywhere. Anyway, I'll read you out what he said. He's called Mickey. He didn't want me to put his full name on the message, so I didn't. So he messaged me and he said, as you've said, we can't trust Labour or Tory politicians no matter what comes out of their mouths. I'm a red wall voter who lent that twit Boris my vote, a bit like Farage. I trusted him to get Brexit done, and he didn't. I hate the Tories. It's full of toffs who make money too easy. I worked in the steelworks. It was a dangerous job at times, and I never had a day off in 23 years. Eventually I was made redundant. Being on the dole was depressing, so I took casual work so I could pay my way. I was actually proud to work. I'm a Labour voter, but proper Labour, not these clowns. Where are we supposed to vote? I want my grandkids to have jobs and a future, and I haven't enough money to clear off somewhere. I'm stuck here. I'm not educated, but I can see the country needs to stop electing these two miserable parties. I like listening to Rupert Law, but what can he do? He can't do naught. He's on his own. So I'll be voting for reform. If we get a chance, that is. I've took your advice and started taking notice of stuff at local council level, and I think that's more important than it's ever been. Anyway, I'm waffling now, but you keep going, lass. I was in the doldrums till someone recommended I followed you, and now I'm following your page. I feel much better. That last bit will do me just fine. But where do people like him vote? Where do you want him to go? Because he's Labour, isn't he? I'd never vote Labour. But obviously there was, the Frank Fields of this world who left Labour after the 2019 election because Corbyn was in charge, and, normal Labour people didn't want bloody Corbyn. But what happened there? Oh, that's right. Labour let the guard down, didn't they? They discounted the membership fee, went it down to 15 quid, and a load of bloody young university grads joined, and so they managed to get a vote in, and they voted in Jeremy Corbyn as leader. Do you remember that? That's why it's important to keep control of your party, especially if it's a new party. Dear God, imagine if these twits that are all saying, oh, Nigel Farage is a traitor, oh, he's sold out, he's not hard enough, he's not tough enough. Imagine if these people had had a say in that party and they'd vote him out. We've got rid of Farage. Right, what are we going to do? Where's your council elections? Where's your councillors? Where's your MPs? Because the only reason that those MPs have got jobs is because Nigel Farage is there. And I don't say this because of favouritism or bias. I say it because it's common bloody sense. The man has clout. The man draws people to him. And he will be responsible, hopefully, fingers crossed, if that twit Starmer doesn't pull a stroke before then, that the wider public who don't follow politics will actually have a face they recognise and a face they can go to. It's that simple. Me and you aren't deciding how this country ends up. No, oh yeah, the people out there who aren't taking any notice are going to decide. And they're going to be that fed up with everything by the time we get to vote. You can see that's from a Labour guy. And I've a shed load of messages similar. That since Keir Starmer's took over, bearing in mind he lied to them. He lied to Labour voters. A lot of waspy women voted because he was going to look after the pensioners, and he didn't, did he? Took the winter fuel allowance off them. I'm saying them, us, I'm one. But you see what I'm saying? We're expected to tolerate intolerance. People coming into this country who have absolutely no bloody intention of fitting into what we've built up. They come from all these spurious countries. Aya Hershey, I read it out yesterday. She wrote a book about her time in Somalia before it went Islamic State. And it's scary how mission creep it is. And these basic Middle Eastern countries that have booted them out. It's, we're that stupid in this country. I don't know if you've ever seen that little video. It's on my show. Scroll down till you see a guy in an Arab headdress. It's only 35 seconds, something like that. Might be a bit longer. And he's the former foreign minister from Kuwait, I think. He's extremely well spoken, obviously educated at Eton or somewhere. And he puts this Yankee journalist down because she says, when he's trying to tell her something, she says, "Oh, it's okay, we have translation." He said, "No, I'm going to say it in English, so I'll make sure you get this right." And he goes on, "There will come a time." Have you seen that video? Hang on, see if I can find it. I couldn't find it. I've had to go on YouTube. Here it is. Just listen to this. I'll upload it.
That we will see far more radical extremists and terrorists coming out of Europe because of the lack of decision making, trying to be politically correct, or assuming that they know the Middle East and they know Islam and they know the others far better than we do. And I'm sorry, but that's pure ignorance.
So you can hear what he says there. Because we'll be weak, basically, because we'll allow it to happen because of ignorance. And I just think that's so poignant. And coming from a man in this position, it couldn't come from a better source. Actually, it's about 8 years old, is that? And recently, within the last 6 months, Elon Musk retweeted it. It was on my page. I had it pinned at the top for a while on Twitter X. So we see what's going on. And what we have to do is make sure that the legacy parties, the two people that have let us down the most, that have caused everything to fail, they've caused every single thing to fail. Immigration, the prison service, housing, education. There's nothing been left untouched. So there is no risk to me in having a go with reform. And there's no other party capable or going to be ready in time. And you can't use Lib Dems. They're just bloody awful. So this isn't a gamble to me. To me, this is the only option. And I know it comes across as bias, but I'm just looking after myself. Because I think if I want to stay living in my house and live the standard of living I want, I'm going to have to take a gamble on this. Because no matter who they put at the front of the Tories, I'll never trust them again. I don't care if they stick Rupert Lowe there. Not a bloody chance.